most of the other players. Actually, I think all of the other players, except for Nenwai. But he got busy, so he didn't want to continue tryouts. So, that's fine by me. That's good, because then I don't have to create videos for everyone. On Jib, I think the one thing that I wanted to say is you can play way more aggressive and calm way more with statics. Where I want you being lethal towards the enemy backline. And that's the only advantage of this comp above having a break. Where you don't need to peel as much for your Ana because we're on scuffed Zarya, and also we have our Tracer to mark if they're really a problem. But only if your Ana calls you back, and then it'll be very obvious where the Ana is like out of cooldowns where she can't hold her own. But here, setting up like for the enemies, especially if they don't have a break, this Weaver Ana shit, this should be a free kill. This guy's head hitbox is huge for your knife, and setting up with our Tracer and then our Tracer also calming with you. So it's like a kind of symbiotic relationship where neither of you were calming very well. I'd love to see like every single time where both of you are on the target and it's just so easy. At least if they're on some stupid thing like Life Reaver Ana or anything other than like a really hard comp to penetrate into. For example, if they're on like Curie Brig, that's like impossible to get through on their backline. But the break, you can still pressure her and make sure that she doesn't do her job, and it'll open up the space for the rest of everyone. Because the reason why this trade is good for us, if we look at Levi's POV, he's just all open, able to shoot whatever he wants if they decide to walk. And Cart will never have any space. We can move forward to the next team fight. Pretty much the exact same thing. Yeah, every engage.
That with my Tracer.
Yeah.
I did that alone, and then I wanted to. I didn't do anything out of it.
Definitely, yeah. So I think you know exactly what I was gonna say. Where all of these engages can be like really easily done with the Tracer, and then good save on the Ana. Where on this high ground, compared to blue box, especially when the cart is up, the cart is like the #1 indicator of how you're gonna be able to decide where to flex to in the front with the Tracer, looking for opportunities in space versus having to flex back. Let me see. I think our attack on this point was way more problematic than the defense. How do you die here? Piano Blade. Oh, okay. You totally did not respect that guy.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure he was going at me, and then I just couldn't get it off in time.
10 seconds. The breeze brings relief. Let the Kitsune guide
And then
you.
good rush. Oh, we just...
I did that way too long. And I didn't hit shots. Or, yeah, I probably have to play in the doorway.
Yeah, even then, I would say you can rush on height and take on the retake. Here. Where you get up, you can start pathing height here, and then you can still rush the cart from height because it'll drop. And you can take either height and still be able to provide value and mark.
Yeah, but here we were coming touches, I believe.
10 seconds.
And then I didn't have really a way to get back up there after. Yeah, so I jump onto touch.
Will it drop? I'm pretty sure it will drop over this distance, right?
The rush?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll drop.
Yeah.
So you're saying, yeah, so I just need to rush before I drop off?
Yeah.
Let the Kitsune guide you.
You can open with the rush because whoever's touching can always use the rush. I think that's like one of the only times that you can open with a rush. Okay, let's talk about the offense, because this is where like most of the brain power comes in, especially since they weren't on a good comp. Actually go to the offense. I want you on cart, and then because the entire point of this comp is that we can flex with our Tracer, and our core is like untouchable because we have Ana and Zarya. So we sacrifice our mobility for the fact that you don't need to turn around nearly ever unless they land an anti, but they don't have anti. So
So should I be forcing her with Tracer then? And then
Yeah.
I can just keep her alive? I guess I don't even have to be a cart, I just have to be with Tracer and healing her up.
yeah. Or not even
Okay.
with the tracer. It's more of focusing the cart because the tracer's supposed to be on the cart, and if she ends up dueling the tracer, but you can push cart, like that's all fine and dandy if you have LOS. So
Okay.
more so hero really fucked up, and we were talking about that. But if you're on, did you die here? Okay, I guess you died. But if you're on our tracer here, and the entire point is we get our comp to high ground, and then once we take the high ground, you're able to walk behind and pressure from behind and get a pinch onto the enemies. So it's the lethality with the tracer, the kill pressure makes a space for your team. And if they don't respect you two on the cart, we just keep on pushing the cart. And it's just, they have to respect you two and send one to contest. And then even then, they have to do so much more, and they have to send a support, and then they give high ground for free after that. And you can stabilize in server, or you can stabilize under to retouch cart right after. But then after we get the high ground, then the entire map will shift. And if not, we just play a strong neutral, sit, wait, like twiddle our thumbs in server or whatever, and wait for the enemies to get shredded by our Ashe, and just look to peel the Ana if they decide to do something dumb. But without the kill pressure on cart here, we're kind of just like rolling in main, which isn't like, it's not the worst in the world, but it limits like how much we can actually do with our comp. Where if you're with our tracer and forcing them out of pretty much just taking space, making space for your Ana and Ashe. Yeah, and then you eventually do TP with our tracer, but it's a bit late. Where you don't need to play with your Ana at all once we have the high ground. Yeah, it'll be glaringly obvious, and it should be more than 6 seconds. So even if you TP immediately, you'll have your TP back up to be able to peel back for our Ana. Because they need to get a support over, so they need to get their Curie, their Tracer, and their Doom set up for an engage on the Ana. And unless they use a movement ability to get over, they're not killing the or if they use a movement ability, they're never killing the Ana because they won't have enough. But if they set up for it, it'll be so obvious because like nothing will stop you over here, and it'll just feel too peaceful. Like it'll literally be you and Tracer versus this soldier, and it'll be like, okay, something's going on because they're pocketing the soldier. The Life Weaver won't even be looking main because he won't be stressed because they're setting up for the dive. So pretty much the setup is the main thing that I wanted to focus on. But the setup is everything in this composition because it's how we force cart and how we gain space for the high ground.
Under my protection.
I think when you're on the Curie on this composition, you can think of yourself more of a space maker, and enabling your tracer rather than actually enabling your core once they're on the high ground. Because you can't really, you can only do so much with Curie's kit to enable once you already have what you want. When you're not mobile, or when your team is not mobile, you're not really utilizing Curie's kit. Yeah, and then Curie gets put inside with the tree, but she should not be pushing so far forward when they have tree. In terms of ult tracking, I forgot. We can look over the comms and we can analyze the ult tracking, but to be fair, it doesn't even look like we're using the ult tracking very much to our advantage. And then we finally rush height, which is good. Yeah, this rush. Whereas I'd rather see us play for the win con, or play for a default at least, of setting up on server, forcing cart, forcing them off the high ground, and then once stuff like shit hits the fan, then we can rush on cart, and then we have the height, or if we have the height, then they're getting shredded, and they can't contest cart, or we can rush on height and pinch them. And so they're forced to, unless they do something drastic and make a really good play on our Ana, they just have a terrible position on the high ground here. Let's look at third point. Second point was pretty, like, it was a clean sweep. So third point, I want for us to be able to control the high grounds and slowly advance from high ground to high ground. So this means getting our Ashe up here, and then when our Genji comes up here, being able to support him. But he goes super early. This is a terrible, like, really early engage. We didn't even have card up to be able to help. So one, we can force over. We can take the neutral, like a strong neutral on the side. I feel like is a habit that you're missing on the carry.
Gives me a better angle right there. If I climb that wall to my left.
Yeah.
There's okay.
It's more about enabling your team to take space rather than anything else here.
Yeah.
Like being proactive, forcing abilities, making the enemies, forcing them to do something, or else they give you a really easy, like, really strong neutral. Our setup here is a little bit scuffed, but
What's up?
so for the most part, I think your gameplay is pretty good mechanically. We just need to get more trust in the win con and enabling your teammates, the teammates that you need to enable. So that's like playing more offensively. So I'm not sure if it's like if you're just a defensive player or if it's just that you're not trusting, like trusting in the process of taking space with the Genji, or that you just haven't played like an Ana carry comp on Jib before in this situation, so you don't know to take space.
I haven't really played this. Gosh, it's been so long. I took a break, and I'm still like coming back to the game. So I'm trying to think what we've been playing on Jib. Oh no, so we play the Doom comp on attack, and we play the Zarya comp on defense.
Okay.
That's what we were doing. So I haven't really played Curie on attack. Or I played Curie with a Lucio most times with it because it was the Doom comp. So I was more used to being like the main healer.
Yeah. Like a rush comp.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so for you here, so let's look at the macro of like how this is going and like how you can position. Number one is, remember your like number one priority here is keeping space with your Genji. So as soon as they use this tree and you can't do anything more on cart, if you can't go in with your Genji, or sorry, I don't know where I was going with that, but in the neutral, what we want to do is deny the Tracer from getting onto our Ana, because that's how we're going to lose the space. Without the support onto our Ashe, so without our core's presence up top, we're nothing. So we deny the Tracer on the side and look to take the ones on the side. And then, so if the Tracer ever goes to the side, she's always punished, and they therefore have no space. And so they have to meet directly up, and that means sending the Doomfist all the way up, or doing something drastic. And then that way it's super easy to peel. All you got to do is come up with the Doom, or wait for him to get punched down, and then you pressure, and then keep the pressure on the side and punish the rotation to the Yana.
Yeah, so I just need to hold that right for like a little more.
Yeah.
Should I play in that like hallway?
Yeah, you can play over here. More so just play with your Genji, because when the Genji decides to go over,
Yeah.
it's just like a super easy duel for both of you. And you can't really get anything done in main, and there's no one to pocket in main either. But if we get the space on the side and flush them out over here, this is like a super big area, because now they all have to play out in the open for Levi, and he's gonna have free shooting in main, and they're all in his LOS, so they can't really do anything. And it denies their enemy supports, because it's like, what are they going to be pocketing? Like a tank that gets denied off the high ground instantly? Really no one. Or a soldier who's back all the way over here, or like playing defensively, and then you guys already have the tempo.
Carried on the wind.
What other maps were you in? Let me see really quick. Gibraltar, Circuit, and Numbani.
Yeah. Bonnie was a bit short. And then Circuit.
Yeah, you didn't have very exciting maps, but I can go through. I haven't watched it from your perspective to look at your micro, but
Yeah, I did also have a game yesterday for like some small league that we pretty much, actually the push game was pretty close, but I think it had some. We played just a clean Curie Lucio comp, Tracer Sombra. I did a bit more of playing with her. Kind of just left me alone all game.
Yeah, you get like free shots the entire game, so you can just pressure the enemy DPS. Yep. And they have 0 space. I'm pretty sure this is just how the entire attack goes.
Yeah,
They're just uncontested. Very nice.
You are not taking.
Okay, let's look at the defense and what you can do on the defense. I mean, on the offense, my bad. Because we had a lot of trouble pushing through, and it was like coordination from everyone. Like, you can't blame one person, but then you can't blame no one. We can blame some people a little more than others, but yeah, good pylon, and then together. So someone needs to call it, and if you're the player who steps up, you're gonna get extra kudos in the team. But as soon as our SIG uses anything, we need to force and get out of this chokehold. This Junkrat is only valid once if we're in the chokehold. But once we get out, and so that means as soon as they use their cooldowns, which their SIG used eat earlier.
Yep.
Which is enough for us to take the trade and walk out.
That forces his rock, and then either has to drop or die.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so someone needs to identify that, and if it's you, that's cool, but it should be our SIG. So I talked to him about that. Yeah, and then it just goes south, and then Hero Bob doesn't land. And so if we're out, that form, we force everyone out, we don't need to lamp, and then you have your pylon up again. So just making sure that you'd have your pylon up again to be able to stabilize height. And then after the stabilize, their comp is just worse. Let me choose the TP strat for Bastion, and then never get like synergy to be able to actually TP. So
Yep. I do not like Lucia at all either, so this was this was fun.
we shouldn't look at the Lucio then. You're flex support, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only main support I can play at a comp tech level is Brig.
Okay.
If they ever want to play Ana.
Very sussy fight. I want to see what is your setup into this fight.
Be healed.
On this map, my mind is always just go and take this top right high ground.
Yeah.
I just love the angles I get from here, so just what I've done.
No, we're not ready on the monkey dive. I think he calmed it, but if you're also in here, we can Suzu, but more importantly, I want you up on this height to be able to make use of this dive. Yeah, because if we're not playing Brig, the second best way to be able to enable your team on the dive is be able to like follow up on it or use the pressure to be able to focus someone else and create more space on the map. Okay, let's go to the next map.
And then I only played second half in this one.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot to put you in on this one. My bad.
Sorry.
Yeah, Zen is pretty simple. I mean, you keep the orbs on the right people and you shoot the right things the entire time.
Yeah. My problem is that late ego peeking DPS. I need to just calm with my SIG.
I think the things that I wanted to go over on your Zen were your, if I remember correctly, maybe it was a different player, but it was the Tranks that I wanted to go over. And then getting picked out here was pretty bad. Where we didn't need to force anything to happen, and we were like playing super far up. Just remember, like the way for you to make space is just shoot the Sig shield and pressure the Sig. If we win the Sig duel in the front line, it is so easy for our team, especially with the Torbjorn. That's the entire point, is just be able to take space for our Widowmaker. then it's just like freelo, where we just walk in.
Actuating the barrier. I see a
Oh, and then yeah, hero suicides here. That's very cool. This trank was good. I remember this one. Oh, maybe it was next fight at this location.
Yeah, it was sometime over here.
Yeah. I think back here, especially when people are critical, there's no need to save the trank, especially if they use their trank already. Or if we take the space, it is so much better than having to stabilize in this comp. Just the way the angles are, and especially where they're playing, because if they have to back up here, they're so fucked when it comes to like the angles that their DPS are gonna have. So if you see your sig,
I just need to drink the sig.
yeah,
Trying to route.
yeah, you're about to suicide by full
Yeah, so notice my
jumping.
BAP died, so we need to just... Oh wait, this is later on.
Yeah, where it's right here, where everyone is falling low, and you just pop the trank. Was there
Oh,
one
we just got...
for yourself? Or you?
Yeah, I used it on
Drink
myself.
here.
I was in the middle of a dragon.
There's a lot of things, because there are trials, we can't really, we're not synergized at all. We're like half the time we should have just rotated, and then we never rotated. So I want to mention it just because it's like everyone has to do it, even though you weren't the one that was like stifling our rotate.
I'm very bad on the widow.
60 seconds.
Yeah, so this is where we come with our Genji. We want to win this high ground. Got stuff.
Not on my watch. Next time.
All pretty standard. This is good.
cannot fail. Not when the answer is so close.
And then we finish them off.
Good to see you.
How do you fall up here? Oh yeah, you try to ego duel, and then you get picked by the Zen.
Oh, I just didn't think about moves this game. I was nowhere near cover. It was even like... Yeah, it was just...
Like, I have to give you a different trial where we're on, especially like a brawl comp where it's more intensive for you, so then I can better gauge
Yeah.
your skill. So I think
I have
Make
a
a note
code I
to do
could
that.
share. Let me... Yeah, let me do this one. Not too bad. You want to look at it real quick?
sure.
Let's just push put it in show. 4K T1 Y6.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like trying to say something, and I was like, 4K T1Y6,
No, that's the code.
4000 Tier 1 Year 6.
Ready for battle.
What's Hi. Hey there. Just Dyson.
Objective unlocked.
Be healed.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking as soon as you use your Suzu and your TP here, even though
not
your queen
streaming.
is going at
Objective unlocked.
here
Yes.
on the bridge, yeah, as soon as you use your wait, yeah, what?
Never mind. I didn't want to risk my Sombra dying. It wasn't completely necessary because
Yeah, that
with our queen there.
Yeah, that was fine, but I want you to greed your cooldowns and only go for the obvious plays here. Where in the neutral, you're completely fine here, and your queen chasing is completely fine. But like this cross on bridge is super hard without your Lucio, and so when you don't have your Lucio here, I would say just play extra careful. Like literally like greed your positioning, greed your
Yeah,
cooldowns.
I need to wait for the Ana to come up. I don't need to close the gap right there. I just hold that bridge position.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're super impatient, but for what? The Ana's gonna die.
Yep, I'm super impatient, and then I try to get close quarters because I hit more shots, but it's also not worth it.
Hey there. I've got you. Don't stop push.
Now let's see. And you're all tracking in comp, right?
Yep,
Okay.
a little bit.
Let me balance you out.
Okay, they just fall apart. Yep.
Hey, let's get on with it.
Yeah,
So that
I
team
just don't
fight
know
you
what to
played
do.
pretty well. You're just like not initiating on anything. You just wait. It should just feel super easy, especially if they're not on a good comp.
Yeah, like this one, we recognize that their Ana is not gonna get any peel except from like Torb. But so we get free dives on her essentially.
Yeah. And then make sure that you're not the one on cart. You're enabling your queen and pocketing your queen. Yeah, this is super risky for nothing. Whereas, especially since you have your ult here, like how are you planning to play this with the ults that they have and you have?
I think our plan was to walk in with Kitsune, and then we can beat reactively if they use a support ult.
Okay.
I don't remember what happens to me.
Like from your perspective now, even like what is the play?
What would I do now? We know, with respect, we know they have both support ults, so I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to rush into a Nano Orisa. Like she might just be able to tank the entire rush with Nano, and then it's useless. So maybe I'd say just keep playing for the Ana, hold the high ground, and just wait for the Ana. The Ana's got to be in a bad position where we can dive on her.
Yeah, yeah. You just wait on the high ground and they can't do anything. That's the
So, like,
this map
even
is
with
abusive.
rush, we're not gonna kill this Orisa.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
rush.
And so I noticed just a lot of impatience here. Let me turn the audio down.
Yep.
It's kind of distracting me. Where you can just sit, lie flat, kind of just be lazy about it, and then wait for the opportunities to just walk into you. And it should be like super obvious when it's like, oh, okay, we need to do this. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe like that.
Forget that happens, but then it does. It hurts. Oh yeah, so we just, Summer just coordinate dive on him.
Very nice. Yeah, and then now how do you play it afterwards is a real question.
Just hold
Oh,
this
okay.
angle and make crossfire. That's pretty.
You don't play it afterwards, they die afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it's probably going to be like the same habits where yeah, one big thing, or not one big thing, but one option here that people forget about is just flip map. If you take the height up here, if you're coordinated enough, because it is comp, so, you know.
Yeah,
But if you take this
we
height, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I think, well, here we play like. I think our call is just. Was it here?
Play height.
No. Maybe it was here. We had some point where we just like. No, it wasn't here. It was just play height. They're gonna be forced to move cart. When they move cart, they're gonna put their wrist on cart. We just walk on Ana for free. Rush.
Yep.
No, that wasn't this fight. This fight, their wrist just wasted her cooldowns, and we were able to kill her from it.
Yeah. I mean, from the top-down perspective also, this is why, like, playing slow when you have a strong neutral is really good, and that's why strong neutrals are so good. Like, what can they do? Like, they can walk out, but their Orisa has to use her cooldowns, and then she has to walk back in, and then they can never walk it back out again, so then you guys get free cart push. Or they restabilize and do the exact same thing. And so they have to do something drastic, and if you're playing super reserved and back, it'll never catch you out.
Not playing enough cover.
Yeah, that was very sussy. Or you don't have to play cart, you can play up high. It's okay if, like, as long as they're in, it doesn't even matter. Like whoever pushes card is gonna get marked. But if you're up height and you're playing just slow, you still have your Lucio amp to be able to engage in, so it's not like you're missing anything.
What's up? I've got you. Let the keep
That
Oh
was a
my.
misclick. I meant to
Okay.
Suzu.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like waiting for the Suzu, and then I saw you do that, and I was like, whoa.
We calmed, he had it. We didn't think he'd actually do it, because he like tried to back away last minute, and then he committed him.
Yeah.
Totally just caught me off guard. Okay, here, I complimented by Sombra. I told her to set up a TP for me. So I wanted to kill her Ana. So I just like chilled here for a bit. And they couldn't really force me out or anything, so I just dueled there and
Okay.
got out.
Okay. Yeah, if you calmed it, that was pretty nice. Very interesting. It did not turn around at all, and then that Reaper just kind of sat.
Yeah, they were trying to force cart.
Yeah. Again, this offensive positioning where you're playing super offensive, it's good, but as soon as you start, like, as soon as you get into this panic mode where, okay, you're beated, you're fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, just TP out. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My ultimate is charging. I've got you. EMP activated.
We just were not ready for that MP at all.
Yeah. To be honest, that EMP is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, even if you were ready for the EMP, like, what are you guys gonna do?
They can either just run into that room, stabilize. It's just-
Yeah. Not even that, but just like, you have no high ground here, you're stuck in an alleyway, and then, like, you're gonna come up on ults way faster than they are here. And they have, like, terrible, like, what is their win con? Like, Nano Orisa or Nano Visor? Yeah. So if you guys just wait, and tell your team just wait. So not on you, because, you know, comp somber mids be like,
Yeah, this is where we literally just waited.
yeah. Yeah. Very beautiful. You just sit here, build ults, you wait for them to do something stupid. They used overclock. They're about to use nade on their self on Ana.
Let the kitsune guide
Oh, you don't even have to.
Yeah, that Ana was already free. We could have won the fight just by killing that Ana. And then
Not won the fight, but at least pull, like, even more.
yeah.
Yeah. They pulled out the big guns when you didn't have to. Oh shit. Spoiler alert of what happens in this team fight.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
That Suzu wasn't good. And then I didn't realize she was still nanoed and she just deleted me.
Yeah, your team
kill
really,
out
really forced that fight. But if they're forcing it with you, I want you with your queen and being able to kite with your queen. You guys are coming up on the beat, so if you can fight plan it for your team and say just wait for the beat to do anything, and even then you can wait for them to initiate because you're so far ahead. The rush on the Ana, just TP in and be with your queen. Not even for the Suzu, but just because you're going to be irrelevant out of the fight if you don't follow with the rush. And so, right there, if you're with your Lucio, then you guys can full run it inside of the building, which is, I think, what like the unspoken plan was, where you can stabilize, so then this rush isn't completely just out in the open.
Come on there. My gift to you.
Wait, their Torb dies, and then you start positioning
just-
super offensively.
Yeah, I just didn't react fast enough. Our queen just died instantly. I should
Yeah,
have seen
yeah.
it. I saw the stun coming. I didn't think she'd die that fast.
Wait,
And she just
even
did.
even then, like, what are we trying to do here?
Like, I guess we're up a man. Like we can just walk, take space.
Um,
But I am way too up here. That's
yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's for your queen to do, and then you can wait if your DPS, like, if you guys get a good hack off. Yeah, I guess so.
try to beat to save her queen as well.
But even with the ult tracking, they have Torb, they have Break. You can't really push into that. So, a lot of, like, you don't have to go all the time. I think that's a very common mistake for, like, people who have played Overwatch 1 before, especially, where they're looking to just, like, go like it's Brawl, like it's Ryan May comp. I have it also, where I just try to go, where in reality, like, if you just play slow and methodical, the enemies will, like, waste their cooldowns 90% of the time, and it should just be like, oh, we forced lamp because they're playing in the open at this terrible corner, and so now we can go in. It's super obvious. Or, like, they have no packs, their Brig is out in the open. Okay, it's just like, okay, just walk on her with speed. We don't even need to amp. So it's not even about outplaying the enemies. It's like you're stifling your own output by not having the patience to just play for your win con in main. And so this is fine, but your queen chooses a whack-ass position to do it from.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your queen was just in main, this would be so good for you guys. But nonetheless, yeah, and you. Oh, okay. Yeah.
We almost threw that so hard. They had oops, MP.
Yeah, you didn't need to kill her. Or need to die for it at least, but I think you get the idea. So
When I TP'd into the theme, was I? Oh, I guess. Yeah, I guess I was too focused on the queen. I didn't realize I was in Coom.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I just.
It's our last chance.
Remember, number one is prioritizing your life, and so in all of
Yeah.
these situations, just prioritizing your life and playing slow for your queen, and just enabling your queen. That's really all you're doing, and building ult. Be able to, like, ult once they do something stupid, or when they're in a bad position, or to finish out a fight. But for your mechanics, they're pretty decent enough. You're building ult pretty efficiently and fast. You're hitting shots at a decent rate, so it's not very alarming. I think more so I'll look to see how you improve over time, like after, so like the next trial that you get when I can actually see your gameplay, because I didn't really get to see your gameplay in a scrim setting. Then we can really limit test and see how well you play into the comps. When the enemies make less mistakes, hopefully. A 4.5 scrim. Whatever the fuck that means nowadays. Yeah, so next Wednesday is going to be our next scrim. Can you make it to that?
Yeah, I should be good.
Okay. I'll put you in. And yeah, so plan for it. I haven't sent the ping yet, but just plan for next Wednesday. And I'll see you then, I guess. Do you have any questions on the VOD review? Or maybe on a different time we can focus on, like, something more specific in the VODs, and then I can come prepared with after you send me codes.
I did get one quick thing. I don't know. Do you play the Queen comp often? The Queen Curie Lucio. We play that all the time. So like,
Yeah.
we play. There's also a lot of mirrors. So like, the macros just seems to be like, the Curie plays out of. I guess you just get walked on. Like the Curie is the first target. So then I have trouble like, because I'm like forced to TP to my DPS, and then that just like hangs my Queen out to dry. Is there anything I need to, like, I guess, change about that? Like, do I need to play
What do you play it with your DPS?
Tracer Sombra usually?
Oh, okay. That's probably why. Are they playing Bastion Sim, or
No, they're usually mirroring.
usually mirroring? Huh. They should be going on the Lucio, and it might be your Lucio hanging you out to dry, or your DPS doing, like, God knows what, where if they're going on you, yeah, if they're setting up on
hangs
you,
out my Queen too much, so then right? Because I'm not usually in speed boost aura because I'm not with Queen. I'm playing at a slight. I'm playing a little bit further away.
Yeah, one Suzu and one headshot to DPS should be enough for you to be able to fulfill your job. So unless, because like if a DPS gets knifed, which they should get knifed if they're going after you, especially, or we're just playing like really weak neutrals. Your queen should be mostly in front of you to be able to separate the space and force the enemy DPS to really use something to get to you in the first place. So like 2 blinks should be enough to get to you. Otherwise, you still have the wall. She only uses 1, and then your Lucio to be able to mark the tracer when she does go in like that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what like the neutral is looking like for your team, but if because that's not like a dive comp, so it's not like you're trading backlines.
No, they just like walk. I guess. You know,
Okay.
they speed boost onto me like they. That might just be a problem. Me not playing far enough away, or it's yeah. I'm probably not like changing my positioning often enough. Or if I see them start to posture to go on me, I'm not like rotating quick enough. And
Okay.
yeah, then they're able to speed boost onto me.
Okay, yeah, you should be able to just use your Suzu, and that trade in alone, if they use their hack and their recall, is completely gone for them. Because they should also be using their Suzu in that trade to be able to go in. Otherwise, there's something wrong in your neutral or your positioning. Because going fast like that should never be able to, unless you're like on a map when you're in the kill box.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you next Wednesday. Or actually, do you have any other questions or?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. See you next Wednesday.
Thanks for voting. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.